A very good afternoon to everyone, most respected chairperson and all the distinguished speakers and the distinguished delegates, friends. At the outset, I must say thanks to the VSI organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my views on the allotted topic on safeguarding sugarcane cultivation from biosecurity threats through plant quarantine regulations in India, what are the challenges and the way forward. Not moving. Okay.
Next.
Here? From here? Okay. Okay, that way. Friends, the biosecurity, when we talk of, is the management of the risk that is there on the economy, on the environment, and also on the community. From the any pest wintering and establishing or spreading in the area. That is how the biosecurity goes, and it is a shared responsibility of any of everyone, and definitely it is of a national priority. And also it involves the government actions at the border, pre-border work in other countries, and the regional and the interstate restrictions, emergency responses for new pests, as well as the measures on the farm. So if you look at the entire biosecurity in totality, the invasive alien species, among all the biological entities, the animals, especially insects, are causing 62% economic loss, and followed by plants 26%, and the fungi and bacteria 12%. It is in the sense of the invasives, which comes from one country to other country. And what is the reason behind this is because of the increased travel, also the increased trade and commerce, and also the global warming to some extent, and the climate change. That is all we are witnessing during our service period only. The pests which were very minor now becoming the major. So there is a quite a reason would be, one of the strongest reason is the climate change and the weather change. When you look at the impact of invasives, the world scenario, which the result published by the Intergovernmental Platform on Biodiversity, for his report rather, in 2023, that says that 60%. Okay. 60% of the total global extension, the reason behind that is the invasives. And the 4 times in every decade, it actually impacts on the economic cost. And the 85% of the quality of life is also impacted by the invasive pest. In India, see, 1889, when we reported apple woolly aphid, from then onwards, you can see up to 1900 to 2000, in 100 years, hardly we could report 16 insect pests. But now, last 23 years, 21 invasive pests we are reporting from India. So that means you can, because of, it is nothing but because of the more travel, more commerce, more international movement of the people. And the fact when we talk of the sugarcane, there are already 400 pests. That includes 288 insect species and also 125 diseases reported, out of which 24 of the insects are important, very, very important, and 1 dozen of the diseases are very important. Pooling together, they are causing 10 to 30% of the losses. Now coming to the invasives, you all may recall in 1958, although we reported sugarcane woolly aphid, but suddenly in 2002 it flared up. 2002, followed by that 2007, you all may recall. And there the Incarcia, one of the species, and also Typha ephebora and Micromus, these 2 predators were found to be very, very effective. That means whenever there is a problem of invasives, We are developing, we are equipping our farmers, and we are, at the institute level, we are developing the technology, and somehow we are managing. Similarly, the fall armyworm, which came to India in 2018, initially it was reported from maize, but now it is from 182 species of the plant species it is impacting. So in sugarcane is not untouched from fall armyworm. It is reported by one of our center, Anakapalli, and also from SBI Coimbatore. And many other centers now they are reporting that it is becoming a very, very major problem in some of the areas. So for that, the NBAIR, National Bureau of Agriculture and Insect Resources, they have developed a lot of technology from the institute from where I am coming from. So we have a BETI, Bacillus thuringiensis, specific to fall armyworm. We have NPV, we have Metarhizium anisopli. We have also one EPN, very effective, and also some of other parasitoid, regular parasitoid like Trichogramma chilonis, and also one of the EPN I said. So these pooling all together, it is working very well, and we are controlling it effectively. Rugose spiraling whitefly, another invasive pest which came to India 2016, which is creating problem especially in coconut and also the areca nut. Now it is also being reported from sugarcane. So here we have a technology, one of the very potent Encarsia guadalupe, which is a native parasitoid, and also this Iceria, that is also very effective here, which for rugose spiraling whitefly, Iceria fumigerosea. You can see in the maybe next slide, the rugose spiraling whitefly, which is there in the coconut and areca nut, but now adjacent to coconut, wherever the sugarcane is grown, they are really creating problem now. So for this, in Encarsia guadalupe, we need to conserve. And also one of the entomopathogen, that is the Iceria fumigerosea, which is very, very effective. Now we have developed a technology, it is available with NBAIR. And also we have developed a drone technology, how to really spray and go to the, especially the coconut ecosystem, it was very difficult. But sugarcane, of course, we can use it, and it is working very well. This is another sugarcane red bug, which was reported by one of the centers under AICRP Thiruvala, which is coming up. It was just a pest, not reported from India. It was from Malaysia and some other country. It was reported not from India. But so far it is not creating problem, but some of the field it is really a problem. All the plants are yellowing, and that is the first time the AICRP is reporting. The point which I wanted to make here, that you can see here under the surveillance program in AICRP, the report you can see, some of the pests are pan-India, like termite, early shoot borer, internode borer, root borer, pyrilla, scale insects. They are pan-India. But some are localized, like white grub. In certain area only you will find the white grub problem. Or stalk borer, or for per se Gurdaspur borer, only in western UP, Haryana and Punjab. Similarly, Plasi borer, only eastern part of the country it is a problem, not in other part. Similarly, diseases, as Dr. Viswanathan sir was also mentioning, some of the diseases are there pan-India, but some are like red rot, wilt, smut, GSD, RSD, YLD, pineapple disease, all are pan-India, but some of them are very localized. So what strategy we should be having? This is one of the very important slides. You can see here India, that like sugarcane downy mildew. It is very much there in Nepal, in China, in Thailand. Similarly, Aldana, Saccharina, which is very, very problematic in African continent. But it is now in Saudi Arabia also. Asian part it has already come. Gomosis in Mauritius, similarly Fiji virus in Thailand, is just neighboring countries. So anytime it may hit to India. All these pests which are in the cloud, these are actually looming threats on India. So what is important is the awareness by everyone. Wherever you see any new disease flaring up or any insect flaring up, please report to us so that we can immediately act upon it. So for these we have a management options. We have IPM, basically we are promoting IPM, wherein the cultural, mechanical, biological, chemical control we are promoting. And for the invasive pests, we have a system of pre-entry quarantine, quarantine and post-entry quarantine system. We have 7 regional stations on plant quarantine. Also, we are promoting agroecosystem analysis-based IPM, wherein more focus on the plant health at different stages is given, built-in compensation ability of the plant is given emphasis, pest and defender population is given emphasis. Not just by seeing the ETL and go for the spraying. Let us work on this way. Let us see that what is the pest and defender ratio, whether actually we need to apply the pesticide or not, and also what is the soil condition, what is the climatic condition. All these things should be taken in. Even the farmer's past experiences also is very important in any pest decision, any kind of pest protection measure. Once you must take into all these into consideration. The overall pesticide, as usual, is 2% of the total pesticide goes in the sugarcane. Of the total 64 metric ton, 1,000 metric tons of insecticide which is being consumed with various crops, 2% goes in sugarcane. That is roughly around 1,000 plus metric tons of technical grade I am talking. And in India we have a regulation. So without label claim, it is not recommended to use any pesticide in any commodity. Same way in sugarcane as well. So in insecticide wise, 17 pesticides are recommended in sugarcane. 3 in combination, and the total fungicide only 1 is there, and herbicide 20 are there, and 8 are in combination. And surprisingly, there is no label claim of any biopesticide. So some of the industries are sitting here. Many other crop you all have taken label claim. Please take label claim in sugarcane as well. There are a number of biopesticides which are effective in sugarcane. Please take label claim so that they can also use officially. This is one of the schemes in India, which is very big scheme, strengthening and modernization of plant quarantine facilities in India. So DIP Act, Destructive Insect Pest Act, which came into force in 1914, and also plant quarantine order. This is the regulation which is prevailing in India. And in that order, if you see, there are the 15 commodities listed which are completely restricted to import in India. I will let you know later what is how it is connected to sugarcane. And there are 17 are there which are in Schedule 5. That means commodities allowed under highly restricted condition. Then there are 700 commodities listed in Schedule 6 which are allowed with the additional declaration, and least risky commodities are there, 519, which are allowed to import, that is listed. And also 57 weeds are there which are notified as a quarantine weed. We have 183 entry points, which includes the seaports, airports, all that. We have 60 plant quarantine stations and 7 regional plant quarantine stations from where the growing material you can bring. Now coming to the sugarcane part, why it is important. In Schedule 4, if you see, sugarcane is completely banned to import in India from Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Australia, Philippines and Indonesia. That means it is why? Because of the Fiji virus. So Fiji virus is there in these 5 countries. So please, for the God's sake, never bring sugarcane, cuts or anything. Ignorantly, you may bring Fiji virus and introduce. Now we are talking of the red rot. We may be talking someday on the Fiji virus. This is very, very dangerous disease which is there in some of the countries. You can see the Fiji virus, how deadly disease it is. But when we are reviewing, what we are seeing, it is already 5 countries India has completely banned to bring any part of sugarcane. But there are 8 more countries where Fiji virus has already moved in. So these are what are the countries? Vanuatu, New Caledonia, Samoa, Tonga, Madagascar, Thailand, Malaysia, such countries, it has already come. But then regulation has to be further modified. That has not been modified. I think Government of India will be modifying it. Please take always a note, never bring sugarcane, cuts, sets or anything whenever you are traveling abroad. Maybe ignorantly you may bring some disease. And similarly, restricted entry is there. Other countries from where it is not banned, it is restricted entry is there. Through SBI Coimbatore, you can bring it, keep it in the quarantine system. There is a certain time you have to keep and then the material will be released. You are always allowed to bring. But please follow the regulation. Otherwise, without regulation, probably you may introduce some of the very, very important diseases which we don't want in India. Already we have 400 insect pests and diseases. So do we really need a native, for the native pests, some kind of domestic quarantine? In India, we have a system wherein we have a domestic quarantine for 9 pests. From within the region, movement is checked. So, here you can see just left side in the map I am just trying to put some of the insect pests are there, are diseases which are restricted to certain part of the country. So can we think of a kind of regulation like 9 pests we are already having, can we think of a regulation so that the commodity movement is not there, so that pest is also not moving. Otherwise one day the Gurdaspur borer you will see in the Assam and the Sisamia, the Plasi borer you may see in the maybe Punjab and Haryana. So can we think of the restriction on the movement of the commodities? Here is an experience of Australia. I am just giving you an idea. Like in Australia, Fizzy virus. As I said, from Australia, India, you cannot bring a single bud or anything of sugarcane. It is completely banned as per the regulation. Now, 95% of the sugarcane in Australia is grown in Queensland. So here, what they have done in the Queensland, they have divided the entire Queensland into the 6, 7, 8 plant quarantine areas. So from 4, 5, 6 area, the 4, 5, 6, this is the Fizzy virus area. So the seed is not allowed to move from this part to the quarantine area A, 1, 2, 3, all those areas it is not allowed. Because certain area they have Fizzy virus, certain area they don't have. They don't allow. Even from 6, PQA 6, it is not allowed to 4 and 5. 4 and 5 area, they reported some 15 years back Fizzy virus, but still they are not allowing. So that is what my point here is, can we think of some kind of restriction of movement of the commodity, the sugarcane, so that we can check the movement of the pest and also the diseases. So now, since time is short, I am little bit hurried. So what are the issues? So lack of effective monitoring and pest surveillance system, that is the pest surveillance system at national level is very important. Pest identification is another challenge which is very important. Now we are really running dearth of the taxonomies, but at NBAIR Bangalore we have 24 entomologists and roughly 17, 18 are working on the taxonomy, whether it is a molecular or morphological. So please send us if you find any like uncommon kind of pest or you are not able to identify, please send us to the Bangalore NBAIR. We will definitely identify for you. And lack of dynamic pest risk analysis, that is important. Someday we decided that 5 countries we are not going to import sugarcane, but then now because of certain pests, now the same pest has moved to other areas, but we are not modifying our regulations. So let us make it a dynamic one so that you keep on modifying our regulation. Also the coordination between SAUs, state government and central government. Strict baggage check is not there. As per the custom order, the baggage check is allowed, but as per the Destructive Insect Pest Act, baggage check is not allowed. So only the custom order, custom people have to allowed for the baggage check, and once they will find any primary agriculture product, they have to refer it to the quarantine. So that is the kind of regulation problem. So that also need to be worked out. And the domestic quarantine. What is the way forward? This is my last slide, sir. So e-pest surveillance and special emphasis on the border area. As I said, in the beginning, just 1 minute. So in the border area, so as I said, there are certain pests already knocking the doors of the India. So border area surveillance is very important. Revision of PQ order on regular basis. The robust diagnostic tool is now required. So sometimes back we did a lot of quarantine restrictions, but we can think of developing some very easy diagnostic tools so that we can allow the things. And also domestic quarantine, as I said, for checking the pest movement within the country. Quarantine station need to be more equipped. We have 60 quarantine stations in India. We need to make it more equipped. Label claim expansion to many other pesticides which are very effective, we know, but there is no label claim in sugarcane. That also need to be worked out. And also strict inspection of the baggages at the international airports. That is also very important. With these few words, thank you so much for giving me opportunity. Thank you, sir. I'll try my best to complete in time. Thank you, sir.